afternoon. Welcome to a unscheduled live coming to you from on board the Nieuw Statendam. We are in Half Moon Cay in the Bahamas. It's been a rather interesting day, so I thought I'd at least do a live stream here in the room. I'm taking a break. I did a tender port here on Half Moon Cay. I went down this morning. First thing, they had invited people down to see if they get tickets for the tender, and of course to see if it was accessible. And they said, yes, it's definitely accessible. You can take the scooter and go ashore. I said, okay, well, I'll take a ticket then. So I got my ticket, and I waited a little while to let the early birds go. And then had to wait around. There was a pretty good line to actually get on board. Let's see, should be the line, yeah. And then because they said the tender that they were loading when I first got down there was not the accessible tender, and I'd have to wait. And I said, okay. Well, sure enough, the next boat that came in, the guy came and got me and took me through the crowd of people, made everybody move, took me in there first to get on the boat first. Well, all right, I don't know how many of you have ever done tenders before, but this one was a challenge. You can see the ramp there. I actually got on the second floor of the tender. Then I had to go down to the floor below, and it was steep and scary. And of course, I had somebody helping me. That wasn't a problem. But it was unnerving because the whole time that this is going on, the tender is rocking and shifting back and forth and banging up against the side of the ship. And I'm in a space just a little bit wider than the scooter, and going down a pretty good slope. You guys know that I flipped the scooter a couple times. But anyway, I shared this. Okay, I'm actually on the tender going to Half Moon Cay. And I'm down on the first deck. I got on the tender on the second deck. And if you see in the background the ramps, that's the ramp I had to take from upstairs down here to the first deck. And I'll tell you what, folks, it was nerve-wracking. Not only are the ramps narrow and steep, but then the tender's rocking, the boat's rocking. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go ashore. Later, y'all. So we did. We got ashore. You have to ride on, the easiest thing would call it a sidewalk, but it's like cobblestone. And to where they were doing the island barbecue, the big, burgers and dogs and corn on the cob and all that stuff. It was about a half mile. I mean, it was a pretty good ride. And of course, it's going over, it's rather bumpy, and again, kind of sways back and forth. Okay, so that's how the scooter goes on the little sidewalk. You go through all that, and you're basically in the sand, so you can't go off at the side of the sidewalk. The beaches are out there for those of us that can get down in the water. It's great. A lot of people were swimming and stuff. It was a lovely day, and the water was just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm glad I did it. Got back on the boat to go back, come back on board the Nieuw Statendam. And again, it was, it's not the easiest thing to do on a scooter, folks. I tell you. And I'm not sure if it would be any better on a wheelchair, but it was, I'm saying I was scared, but I was shook. I don't mind admitting it. So glad I did it. Now I've got to decide. We're going to Grand Cayman, which is another tender port. Got to decide if I'm going to put myself through that again, because it's just not, it's not stable for somebody that's unstable to start with. And so I'll have to decide by the time we get to Grand Cayman. Other than that, this is a really nice ship. The food's been good. The entertainment, I got too tired last night to do more than one. And I went to the Rolling Stones theater or something like that it was a rock show. And just one of the rooms. Now there's about 6 other rooms going on at the same time. So tonight in the main theater, the captain is going to do a welcome, and then there's a comedian on after that. So I'll probably do that. And I'd like to make it to get to BB King's. I don't think they start until like 9, and it's getting late for me, folks. I'm getting old. Talk about scooter round. Man, I tell you what, guys. Of course, I've talked about the scooters forever. I am so thankful for Scooter Round because I absolutely couldn't do what I do today. I mean, you saw me there on the islands, you know. I went a good, wow, it was a half mile to where they were doing the barbecue and got something to eat. I stopped at one of the bars and had an adult beverage, and then came back to the ship and was still able to go through the rocking and rolling and nerve-wracking part. But that scooter's right there. It's over here in the room. You know, I pull it in. The doors are great on the ship. My room door is not automatic, but every other door I found is automatic on the ship. All the bathrooms are handicap accessible, the public restrooms. I've only seen 2 issues. One is the embarkation where Holland America still makes Scooter Round deliver the scooters to the cabin. And man, the embarkation was super smooth. But it would have been so much easier if I could have gotten the scooter at the curb. So I went down to see if they had a special needs coordinator on the ship, and they don't. But I filed a report, which hopefully will land on somebody's desk about that. The other areas that I found fault with on deck 9, which is where the main pool is, the only pool on the ship. Above deck 9 and deck 10, where you can look down over into the pool, and that's a lot of people are up there sunning, and you know there's a bar up there. The Panorama Bar is on 10. But if you go around the pool on either side, okay, at the end to get to the aft elevators, I can't get through either side. There's not enough space between the day beds and the pole that holds up the roof structure. So, I have to go back to the midship elevators and go down a floor and through to get to the aft elevators if I need to go, if I want to go up to 10, 11, or 12. So So that's one minor little issue, and I'm not sure that it's fixable on because of the layout of the ship. So that's one thing. There are several places where the elevators don't go to all the floors, so you have to make sure you get the right elevator to go to the right floor, and that can be somewhat confusing. Has nothing to do with accessibility. That's just it's a ship. But other than that, man, it's been a pretty good cruise so far. I mean, obviously this is just the second day, but I did go to the breakfast buffet this morning, and I mean, I've always enjoyed breakfast buffets, but this was killer. This was way better than normal. I had eggs Benedict cooked on the spot. The lady stood there and poached the eggs while I waited. Some wonderful fruit. The fruit how there came back. So, by the way, folks, if you're watching this, if we have one of those issues, that's just losing the signal for a second. Just hang with me, and I'll be back eventually. But the fruit was just outstanding. I mean, I've been on, all the ships I've been on this year. This is probably the best fruit that I've had. But it was, I mean, they had all kinds of individual fruit, but this was a mixed fresh fruit salad, like I guess you might call it. It was really good. I did have a little donut this morning, just simply to taste their donut, and it was just awesome. It was nice and sweet and fluffy, and yeah, it was good. And then when I got back on the ship today, I rode through there just to see what the lunch buffet was like, and they had sushi on the buffet line. So I had a little bit of sushi when I got back on the ship. So that was nice. But I've been out doing, a lot of things, doing some filming and stuff. But anyway, back to Scooter Rail. Folks, if you aren't familiar with Scooter Rail and you're struggling to walk with all the walking you have to do on cruises, don't struggle anymore. Just call Scooter Rail. Call me. I'll help you get set up with Scooter Rail. I am so thankful for their service. I'm so thankful that I've been able to use them now for 8 years, I guess, since I started with them. I see people. I've talked to maybe a dozen people on this ship that are struggling. They're walking with a cane. They're bent over. They're having trouble breathing because there's so much walking and stuff. You can tell they're tired. Man, just get a scooter. It is so much better. So, anyway, I'm so thankful for that service. I couldn't do what I do today without them. Absolutely couldn't. So, anyway, they're great people. All right, see who's with me today. Again, I just wanted to talk about the tendering operation. I did have another adult beverage just to try to get my blood pressure back to normal. That was scary. It really was. Joanne's with us. Hi, Joanne. Hi there, Tom. Out there in Hawaii. What the devil was that? I didn't load it up to show today. I will have it tomorrow. $1,800 hotel room? Are you nuts? I mean, it was a lovely hotel room, but good grief, Tom. Dennis is with us. Hi, Dennis. Smoked salmon and bagels available at breakfast? Yes. They had trays of salmon and several different kinds of bagels. I didn't do salmon on a bagel today. I had a load once I got to eggs Benedict on top of scrambled eggs and sausage and bacon and hash browns. I mean, I had a huge breakfast. So I didn't have room for that. Don't know tomorrow if I'll do I'll probably do the buffet again because it was so good. And then of course I got my show tomorrow, so I'm gonna hopefully that's another reason I wanted to do a live stream today. My cabin, I'm on deck 7. My cabin is probably about the worst spot for the Wi-Fi signal. So that's kind of why I wanted to try it here to see how bad it would be. And it seems like it's blanked out a couple times, but it seems like the signal's been pretty good. I think when I had the problems yesterday, it was probably just one of those situations where everybody in the world was online, and they're not now. So anyway, the signal hasn't been that bad. Robert's with us. Hi, Robert. There's Nikki. Nikki says, good afternoon to everybody. Scoot Around should consider exhibiting at travel trade shows. So travel agents and cruise agents can promote the service. Yeah, and they've got a nice program, Dennis, that I don't know enough about yet to talk about it. She mentioned it when on the interview the other day, and Sylvia, and they got a program now for travel agents to represent Scoot Around and talk to their people about it, and they can make a little, commission on it. But yeah, I agree with you. They need to be at the trade shows. Not only that, they need to be at the trade shows for the wheelchairs too. For somebody of Sylvia's stature to use a wheelchair, it's got to be the best. So I'm impressed with that alone. I have told them that I would like to do a cruise, one of the cruises I do for them, and use a chair instead of a scooter, just so I can compare the two and know what the differences are and how I like one as opposed to the other. I mean, I like my scooter. I have no fault with that. But I need to find out about the chairs as well. So I can, when I have to advise somebody, I can do it from experience and not just from what other people have said. At least the ship has midship lifts. They seem to be disappointed, disappearing on the newer ships. They were removed on the new Disney Wish because guests moaned about how busy they were on the older ships. Hot Air, are you still in Oahu? He was, Dennis. I'm assuming he still is. He's in an expensive hotel room. I think he's there for 2 days. So a good breakfast buffet will have smoked salmon. By the way, lox is a special cut of smoked salmon. Okay, I did not know that. I've always called it lox and bagels, and probably have been calling it improperly because it's smoked salmon. And I didn't know that there was actually a difference. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Chillie, so much running around. Don't forget to get some R&R. Yeah, well, it's been busy. I'll tell you that. The first 2 days on the ship, I've covered a lot of ground. I've gotten a lot of filming done. I've got a lot of just taping done. And again, I haven't found anything, truly wrong as far as accessibility on the ship, which is nice. It's a very nice ship, and I like Holland America, guys. I always have. Love the food, but like I say, the buffet this morning was, man, that was just a step above. That really was. It was good. I'll be back in the main dining room tonight. I don't have any plans to do any of the specialty restaurants on this trip at all. So I'll see what's on the offering tonight. Last night I had, I don't know if you saw the Facebook page post, pan-seared cod. Matter of fact, Patrick, my waiter, recommended it. I was going to get salmon. You know, I love salmon. But he recommended the cod, and I said, okay, I'll try it. Well, it was garnished with a couple of mussels and a couple of the little clams on the shell, probably 3 of each. And the fish was just to die for. It was just so good. And it was over a bed of some kind of, not that they weren't like mashed potatoes. It was over a bed of something. I'm not even sure what it was over the bed of. The fish was just, wow, it was so good. It was a really, really nice dinner last night. Yes, Dennis, at the Hilton Hawaiian Village in a floor 19, what'd you say, 19 corner room with 2 balconies. Chillie has some pics. Yeah, I'm going to show them on a show tomorrow. I didn't load them up for today because I wanted to save them for tomorrow. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Glad you stopped in. Oh, there's another message from Dennis. Tom, if you are in Kahlua, having trouble seeing. I've got a little glare on my computer. Try Bob's Pizzeria. The slices are huge. Also, the brunch buffet at the Four Seasons Resort by Disney's Eleni is fantastic. Okay, there's just some good advice, Tom, if you're looking for a place to go. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Again, thanks for stopping in. And don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back on normal schedule, even though I'm on the Statendam. I'll be set up someplace and do the show tomorrow. Glad this worked fairly well today. That's a good sign. All right, that's going to wrap me up for today, guys. I'll see everybody back at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time from, I think tomorrow's a sea day. Come to think about it. Probably be a sea day tomorrow. At any rate, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. Hopefully one day soon we'll all get together and live the dream just like I am. Have a fantastic day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.